Hi everyone, Lewis here from the Tour Shed, and I've got an exciting video for you today. So the release of the new Callaway Epic 2021 has been released, and it's got some exciting features, and there's 3 different heads. So I'm going to take you through those 3 different heads today. I'm going to test them out and see which one works slightly better for me, which one I might favour. But let's have a look at all 3 drivers, see which ones give different aspects, so whether that spin rates might be higher or lower, one might be more forgiving. So let's have a little look. Okay, so this year we've got 3 different heads. You've got the Epic Speed, the Epic Max, and the Epic Max LS. Now the Speed head is built for increasing your ball speed. So for someone that lacks ball speed, really struggles in the area, that driver is going to really help accelerate that ball speed for you. Now the Epic Max, that one is the most forgiving out of the 3. So if you're someone that really struggles on consistency of strike and wants a more consistent ball flight, then that is the perfect driver for you. And then the Max LS is a low spin option. So it's a really high forgiving driver with that lower spin option. So for someone that needs that consistency but struggles with high spin, that driver is going to decrease that spin. So you've seen all 3 drivers. Let's talk a little bit about what might be different. Now, I've got one of the heads here, so I've got the Speed head here deconstructed. Now, the first thing we can see is this new face. Now, this new face is fairly similar to the Epics before. So you had the Epic Flash with the AI technology in the face, fairly similar. They've just re-engineered it slightly, changed some of the spots behind it to make it a little bit more forgiving across the 3 heads. Now, the next change is this jailbreak. So the jailbreak has featured in the last 2 Epic ranges. So you had the Great Big Epic and then the Epic Flash, and then you got this year's version. So with this year's jailbreak, you can see it's slightly different. So we're used to seeing just the 2 lines down the middle here, but now we've got the 2 lines, but they also connect in all 4 corners. So that's to help with that forgiveness, create higher ball speed, and give you a more consistent ball flight. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get into hitting a few different shots. So I'm going to hit 5 shots of each driver, and we'll see which one works better for me. Now, to make this test as fair as possible, I'm going to use the 10.5 head in each 3 heads, and I'm going to use the same shaft. So I'm going to use the 60-gram MMT extra stiff shaft, and we'll see how it performs in each of those. So let's get straight into the shots, starting off with the Epic Speed. Okay guys, so let's get into the first driver. So I've got the Epic Speed in my hand. So like I said, we're going to hit 5 shots of each driver, and then we're going to take the best 3 out of those 5. So let's see how good this head performs. So the Epic Speed looks nice and small down at the ball. Pretty compact head, not like the usual kind of traditional Callaway drivers. So let's give it a whack. So that is the Epic Speed done. So now we're going to move on to the Epic Max. This is the most forgiving head. It should be the largest out of the 3 as well. The main difference the Epic Max and the Max LS have over the Speed is this movable track at the back there. So you can move it to be slightly more draw biased or slightly more fade biased. So I'm just going to leave that at neutral for now. And let's hit these 5 shots and see how the Max compares. Let's go straight into it. It's definitely a lot bigger down at the ball there, but it does fill me with a bit of confidence going into the shot. Definitely a completely different feeling off the face there. A little bit louder, I'd say, as well. And it definitely has gone further left than some of my other shots as well. 5 shots with the Epic Max done, so we're going to move on to the Max LS. Just a few things on that Max driver though. So it is slightly draw biased, and from those 5 shots I definitely noticed that more of those 5 shots, I think if not all of them, did finish left of the line. Even that last shot there, you can see partly my swing, I've definitely pulled it a little bit left there, but that is a lot further left than I normally would hit it. So maybe that draw bias isn't such a good thing for me, but I can see it helping an awful lot of golfers out there. So let's get into the Max LS. I think this head's going to be slightly better for me, so it's more forgiving and lower spinning. So the one thing I noticed from those other two, that they were both a little bit higher spinning than what I'd want to be seeing out of my driver. So let's give this one a whack. Oh yeah, lovely. Definitely a slightly lower penetrating ball flight there. I think I'll see the spin number will be a lot less as well. Yeah, that's good. So spin there at 2.7. A little bit higher again than what I'd want to see, but that's a little bit lower than the other 3. So let's get these other 4 shots done. I'll see you in a minute. So I've got all the numbers up behind me. So for all of you that want to see all those numbers, a little breakdown of each individual shot, I'll just put a quick segment up here of all the different shots. Now, going through them all, these 3 heads felt really nice to me. All of them felt nice. However, for me, none of them were working that great. Now, the majority of that, I'd say, is to do with the shaft itself. I haven't fitted myself for that. It's definitely not the right shaft for me. It's definitely spinning way too high than I want to see it. So if I was to try any of these heads again, I'd definitely try a different shaft in it, just try and get that spin lower. But just to make it a fair comparison, we use the same shaft. So as you can see, the numbers probably aren't what I'd normally expect, but they give you a really good idea of what each head is trying to give me and where each of them benefit. So they're all fairly consistent in some of the ball speeds, the launch and the spin numbers, but let's break it down into those 3 shots, the 3 best shots from each, and go from there and have a little look at the comparison. So as you can see behind me, we've got all 3 drivers broken down into the 3 best out of the 5. We can see some slight differences and some shots that were better and some that didn't work as well for me. So let's pop the stats up on the screen here for you now, and let's run through them. So first of all, at the top there, we've got the Epic Speed. So that one was built mainly at trying to increase my ball speed and club head speed. Now we can see that the ball speed was up at 161.9, so that was the highest out of the 3, so it's fantastic to see that gain. However, the spin was slightly higher and the launch was slightly higher, so in terms of carry in total, it didn't go as far as the others, but I think we would have saw a massive difference there if I was using the right shaft. But all in all, it was a really solid driver and felt fantastic. Moving down, we've got the Epic Max, so that was the most forgiving, but also the most draw biased. So if we look up to the top right hand corner, you can see that all those shots did finish left that line. So the draw bias has really worked in that. For me, isn't exactly what I'll be looking for, but I can see it's going to help an awful lot of players. So if you are someone that struggles with leaking that ball out to the right or generally hits a fade or a slice, that Epic Max is certainly going to help you straighten up your ball flight and see a more consistent shot as well. Now, we can see the backspin was lowest out of all 3 drives, that Epic Max. I think that's purely based on the fact that all those shots have gone left. We're always going to see that carry up and that total up. So that is good to see. So moving on, we've got the Epic Max LS. So that's the low spin head. Now for me, it didn't work as well as the other 3. I can see it's been a great option for someone who needs that forgiveness and slightly lower spinning. For me, I just couldn't quite get on with the head. I didn't strike it the best out of those 5 shots. I had some poor shots in there, so that's why we can see those stats really are not that great. So all in all 3 heads, I really did like them. They just didn't work that great for me, but I think if I was to do this again, I'd 100% have a custom fitting before and see the real shaft that would work best for me. So next week, I'm going to upload a video yet again with these 3 drivers using a slightly different shaft and see how that can work out for me, see if it changes up the numbers and see the results that I want to be seeing. But this gives you a really basic understanding of the 3 heads, what they offer and how they can work for you. So remember guys, always get a custom fitting. It's the best way for these heads to work for you and really get the most out of all the new technology. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you all very soon.